Hey guys, how are you? How are you? How are you? Woo, good to see you. Good to see you. Coach Margene here. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. Woo, 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 woo. Who's with me? Who's here tonight? Who is taking action? Who is learning as we go? Yes, we're always learning, right? The day you stop learning is the day you crash and burn. It's the day that your business will never, never, ever be where you want it to be. You have to keep moving forward. You have to keep building and building and building and learning and learning and learning. Learn a skill, teach it, implement it. Keep moving, keep moving. Don't just sit around learning and learning and learning. You got to be using what you're learning in your business. So we are studying this wonderful book, this incredible author, Michelle Schaffer, wonderful, wonderful, incredible woman. I spent the weekend with her on a conference, and she is absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing entrepreneur. And she is doing wonderful things in the world, for you, for me, for other entrepreneurs. So if you're here with me, drop #live down below. If you're coming in on the Zoom link, I dropped it in the group under comments, under the post I put earlier saying I'd be here at 6 o'clock. Click on it. Join me. Join me in this reading so you can be here live and ask the questions. Ask the questions that you have within your mind about network marketing, about your business, about how you can be successful. Because there's a lot of history here, guys. Those of you that are in direct sales and network marketing, do you even know the history of the concept, the history of the process? How many of you know? If you know, raise your hand. Let us know. Everybody wants to know. We're curious. Okay? So if you've watched the replay earlier, it's in the guides. I dropped it under the guides. And we went through the first part of the book where there were some comments, and we've also got the dedication in the foreword is what we read last Sunday. So today we are starting in the book on the chapter 1. So here we go. I'm starting. So did you bring your notebook so you can take notes? Because if you don't have the book, you might want to have your notebook with you so you can write down questions that you have. If you're catching the replay, write down questions. Stop the recording, write out your question, and replay and start again and watch it and listen and stop and write your questions. Drop them in the comments. Or join me live one Sunday evening and ask your questions. We will get them answered. So here we go, chapter 1. What is this? If I were given a chance to start all over again, I would choose network marketing. How many of you know who stated that? Anybody? Well, Bill Gates stated that. Now, that's an incredible entrepreneur also. And he knew a little bit of something. While Jesus served as the first ever influencer, network marketers were the first great influencers in sales. They used their personal experience or testimonial with their product or service to influence the people in their circle to try the product. Network marketing, put very simply, is a method of product distribution. It is a highly efficient way for a product manufacturer to put their products directly into the hands of their customers or consumers without the use of a middleman, without spending millions on advertising, and without having to hire a sales force to get the word out about their products. It's brilliant. With this distribution method, the customers are the sales force. Isn't that incredible? Did you ever think about that? Did you know that about how network marketing direct sales started? Well, we're going to find out. Jubilant and satisfied customers sing the praises of their favorite products and get rewarded by the company for doing so. So you have a product that you love, right? And you love it so much, you want other people to have access to it. That's why you joined the company. That's why you sell the product. Did you think that you were being a genius when you came up with that concept? Yes, you were the genius because you came up with it for you, for your family. This brilliant and peculiar method began in 1886 with a company called the California Perfume Company, which was founded by David McConnell. We know this company today as, did you know this? I didn't know this, Avon. The first company to be in the network marketing industry was Avon. McConnell began as a bookseller, then as a true entrepreneur. Oops, let me make sure I got that up. He realized the power of the word-of-mouth marketing, allowing a person to control their destiny. McConnell wrote to his workforce in 1892, "Dear friends, we have decided to place our products on the market using our peculiar method, door-to-door sales. And it will require making confidants of a large number of worthy and enterprising people so that we may carry out this system perfectly." As history shows, McConnell brought his perfumes direct to the customer through this peculiar method, and his new industry proved to be a phenomenal success. In its infancy, it was a door-to-door selling model and one that utilized the demonstration of products to the customers. This allowed the salesperson to work as hard as they wanted to. This was fascinating, and it was an opportunity for women. This opened new doors for women to earn money at a time when those opportunities were not readily available. Over the years, this evolved in exciting ways. What began as a direct selling or manufacture direct to consumer became multi-level marketing. So many people today have this idea about multi-level marketing, but honestly, maybe they just really do not know the truth about multi-level marketing. Well, you just heard it. We just read the story. Now, I remember in my middle 30s, I wanted to do something different for my family, and I loved Avon products, so I decided to become an Avon rep. So I went to door, knocking and knocking. And to be honest, that was one of the most fearful things for me, was knocking on the door of a stranger, somebody I didn't know, and then asking for the sale. But I discovered the product sold itself. I just had to be there to make the offering because they couldn't get the product any other way other than me coming to see them or another Avon rep coming to see them. So those were the days before internet, before computers, before websites. It's so much easier today. Also, do you know of other companies? What about the Fuller Brush Man? When I was growing up, the Fuller Brush Man came to our home regularly. My mom purchased product from him regularly because the products that she wanted, the only way she could get them was if somebody brought them to her because she loved their product so much. What kind of memories do you have about multi-level marketing? Good question, huh? Drop your comments below if you can remember a time. This allowed the consumer salesperson to find and train other consumers or salespeople and earn from the sales created by them as well. They were being paid on multi-levels of a sales force that they both recruited and trained. This was an exciting prospect for would-be entrepreneurs. A company could then rely on the customers to bring more salespeople. Also, customers who also brought more salespeople. The only cost to the company was the commission paid as products were sold. Again, what a brilliant idea. This model is still an incredibly efficient and cost-effective way to move products. So let's get into it, because I know what you're thinking right now. For those of you who haven't yet enrolled in a network marketing company, you're thinking pyramid scheme, right? I get it. And if I'm being honest, it bugs me that this is still something people say, but I know that I need to address it and give you the truth once and for all, so that you will be armed with the correct information. This is gold, guys. So those of you dealing with prospects and you have an opportunity that you're trying to deliver to them, and they're giving you, oh, that's multi-level marketing. That's a pyramid scheme, right? Okay, you are getting the information right here, so you're going to know exactly how to handle that objection, and you will no longer have an excuse saying, what do I say when they say it's a pyramid scheme? Well, here it is, guys. Are you ready? You got your pens and paper? You better make sure you write this one down. Where did this pyramid thing even start? Okay. In the 70s and 80s and even the 90s, the network marketing world was like a teenager. It was wild and rebellious. Yeah, those little teenagers, they can get pretty out of control, right? It made up its own rules. It loved the idea of fast money. It was immature and defiant. It snuck out of the house and stole the car, and it smoked and it skipped school often. Well, hopefully your teenagers aren't doing all this. The profession was trying desperately to figure out its identity. So a company would launch with a subpar product that people didn't really love, but it had a compensation structure attached to it that allowed people to make a lot of money. Yeah, that's the truth, guys, and I think many of us have heard that one before. Many times it would be too much money, and the company would go out of business quickly. Crazy compensation plans focused on paying the sales force for recruitment more than actual product sales became the norm. People would purchase products as a means to an end for getting paid, but not because they loved and used the products. This is where the term garage qualified was born. Distributors would have a garage full of products they didn't use or sell, and they were making money on the recruitment of others. Eventually, this unruly teenager decided to omit products altogether. And some of that old story still emerges in the world today, in the 22nd century of our life. So we have a lot to overcome, right? In some cases, it became a flat-out money and recruiting game. And in the 80s, some of these money games were called airplanes. People loved them. They were basically paying people who recruited people with no products and no services. And all you had to do was bring in a few people with cash in hand. You didn't have to sell anything. Just recruit a few people with some cash and get paid fast. Quite frankly, it got out of hand. People got dollar signs in their eyes, and many people lost out. And if they didn't find a few other people, the airplane crashed, and only the people who got in first got paid, or who started got paid. Just going to check over here on Facebook, see if we got anybody here. And I don't see anybody. So I'm assuming nobody's waiting in the sidelines here to jump in on the Facebook Live, so I will continue on. Page 8, paragraph 2. Companies that did have actual products would pay the salespeople much more for recruiting people. when they purchased costly business starter packs. Those were the days when I couldn't afford to get into a company because I didn't have the startup money. This is called front loading, and some of those starter packs would cost up as far as $5,000 or more. So people would end up with a ton of products stacking up in their garage with no customers to sell them to. Thus, the old saying, garage qualified, and the illegal pyramid scheme was born. And I'm not saying Mary Kay is illegal, but I know that they have like a $1,500 investment for you to get started in Mary Kay, unless they've come down and have offered smaller packages, which I think some of them are now doing. And then here you got $1,500 worth of product sitting in your home that you're probably not going to use, and are you going to have enough people that you're going to be able to sell it to? So it still happens. But all was not lost. This wild teenager began to grow up a bit. The government finally began to create some guidelines and regulations to protect people from the scams. Direct selling, network marketing, MLM, was made legal once and for all in a landmark court case in 1979 when Amway defeated the FTC. The following is what the law recognizes as a legal network marketing company. No commissions for recruiting, but only on the sale of products. Retail sales are driven. Representatives must retail the product. Inventory buyback. The company must offer to purchase back unopened and unused inventory. A 70% rule. Representatives must consume or sell 70% of their inventory before ordering more. Okay, so how do you enforce a ruling of consumption? How do they know you've consumed 70% of your products? They come into your house knocking on the door? Very interesting, huh? Page 9, paragraph 1. So now that our teenager has grown up a bit, why do people still talk about the pyramid schemes? There is a couple of reasons, really. At any given moment in the U.S., there are around 1,200 direct selling companies. Most of them fall within their first 3 years. Trust me, I know. I will share that story with you in a later chapter. When a company goes out of business, people lose their jobs and salespeople lose their incomes. The profession was volatile. There was predatory owners. They started companies knowing full well that it would only last a few years, so they worked hard to make as much money as they could, as fast as they could, and then they would bail. A lot of people got hurt in these scenarios. The profession started to get a bad name. This also created predatory salespeople. They knew they would only be able to cash in for a few years, so they recruited people like crazy. They were overpromised and underdelivered. They also knew full well that it was a short-lived run, and they didn't care. Talk about integrity? Some distributors made fortunes jumping from company to company, making as much as they could and leaving a trail of bodies in their wake. This was a significant contributor to the profession's bad reputation for so long, and it still exists today. However, like any naughty teenager, at some point you must grow up, and this awesome profession has. There are regulatory agencies that closely watch the profession. There is legislation that protects the consumer, the salespeople, and the companies alike. The profession has truly come of age. Pyramids are illegal. If a company has a legitimately selling product, and if they do not pay for recruitment, they are most likely legal. That issue should be dead once and for all. Unfortunately, I still see a company pop up from time to time with an owner who still uses the old school illegal way. They massively promote the money. They make unsubstantiated product claims. They tell you they can ship to every country in the world, etc. Because of all the hype, they grow quickly. But trust me when I say this, these companies never survive. They are always gone within the first 1 to 5 years, taking the credibility of the profession and your credibility with them. Wow. What do you think about that? That's incredible. So this chapter is, let me see, 22 pages long. So I will continue to read maybe one more, and then we will continue next week, and hopefully we'll have some folks showing up. In a direct selling company, distributors are paid for products they sell alone. People will often refer to this singularly as direct selling. If the salesperson has the ability to earn commission from sales that come from the people they recruit, regardless of the number of levels, then it would be considered multi-level compensation. It doesn't matter what type, binary, unilevel, matrix, or breakaway. These are all multi-tiered compensation structures that you can earn a commission on. What is important for you to know is that you want your company to pay you on multi-levels of product sales. Therefore, it is a good thing to be involved in an MLM company. Getting paid on multi-levels of salespeople and customers is the magic fairy dust. It is the true leverage, the real key to true leverage. Page 11. Is that clear? Let's go over it again for the people in the back who can't hear as well. Pyramids are illegal. If people ask you, here you go guys, here's the golden nugget. If people ask you if your company is one of those pyramid things, you can confidently and emphatically tell them, no, those are illegal. MLM is only referring the way you may or may not get paid. Did you hear that? Write this down. Is it one of those pyramid things? You can confidently and emphatically tell them, no, those are illegal. MLM is only referencing the way you may or may not get paid. And if people ask you, is this MLM? Here's your answer, guys. Write it down. You can explain to them that, yes, we get paid on multi-levels of sales. Or, yes, we don't have a cap on the sales we get paid on. Or, yes, we get paid on an infinite number of customers and sales levels, and it's awesome. There you have it, guys. Write it down. Put it in your script for when you're prospecting and you get those objections, guys. If I get asked that dreaded, is this one of those pyramid questions? I say dreaded because I know how it can trip you up when someone asks. I just say, and this is Michelle speaking, are you asking me if I'm doing something illegal? Pyramids are illegal. This usually will trip them up and they don't really have anything else to say. And when they do say more, they dig themselves in even deeper. Because they usually have no idea what they're talking about. And I know you guys know this because I've heard conversations about the experiences that you've had when you're prospecting. When they get done rambling, you can then calmly continue your story of how your products and opportunity have been life-changing. It doesn't mean the call is done. It doesn't mean you're not going to get the sale. It just means you kind of sort of know a little bit of what you're talking about, which makes you an expert and an authority to that prospect, so that they are more likely to trust you and want to work with you if they are looking for an opportunity. Or your product sounds like something they really could use and want. The network marketing profession is an incredible way for the average person to take control of their own financial future. You need to know and understand these terms and what they mean. It will help to not only build your confidence when you're talking to people, but it will also help build your belief. The more conviction you have with your own belief, the more believable you will be to others. So I'm going to cut this short now. I'm going to cut this off. We will finish up this chapter next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. If you want to join me, the link is in the comments in the post that I put up here. I will maybe create an event so that you guys can have it, and you can join me on the Zoom call and ask your questions, or stop me and say, would you repeat that for me? I didn't quite get it. So that we can have a dialogue here. This is serious, guys. If you are serious about growing your business, you need to know some of these things about network marketing companies that maybe you're not getting from your upline, or you haven't heard before, or you haven't gotten to that training yet. So I hope you'll join me, because she is speaking about different things with the language about network marketing as we go through this first chapter, so that you will have ammunition to help you grow your business and get people in your opportunity, as well as customers that you know, love, and serve, so that they will learn to know, love, and trust you. So until next week, I'll see you later. Bye for now.